Make sure we are going out live.
Live.
It's the final countdown.
Wait, I need to get a green screen. This is crazy.
I know.
This background editing is not ideal.
It's the final countdown. Wow, we are sounding so good right now. We're actually starting to figure this out, boys. We are starting to figure this out. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. Tony, if you don't mind, just sharing out the YouTube and the Discords and the Twitters and stuff. And we are going to go ahead and get started with episode 9 of the Ohio Eternal podcast. Currently, with my ride or dies, if you will, in the Eternal and real world, the Hood's Last Hope. Ben getting fitted for grills.
That's true.
And yes. He's over there doing like his grills pose. His grills pose, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the man, the myth, the legend, Tony Plowshare. So today we have a lot to talk about. This is going to be, I feel like, a longer discussion. A couple of the things that we want to talk about are results of the Better Plays 2K that just happened last week. Then talking about some of the bans and kind of what the meta looks like. And then 5 new cards from the Dragonstorm set that look like they are eternal playable. What I mean by that is I'm looking at the... Oh, let me mute Tony real quick. Sorry, hearing some background noise. That's why they call it dad magic, right? Dagic, exactly. So, and talking about the 5 new cards that are in the latest set, and you know how those can also help shape our format. Just a reminder, we do have a Discord channel, so if you go and just do a Google search for Ohio Eternal or type in eternal.rocks, you can find some links to get there. We had a really good discussion, just some back and forth about the bans yesterday. I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago. Yes, 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah, Ronnie was salty.
Yes, he was. And I do want to reach out and maybe get him on a quick follow-up pod in a week or so and just kind of talk through what his thoughts were, right? I mean, it directly affected the deck that he was playing. And just to get some different opinions about that. We are going to post this link in our Discord, or Tony did post it in the Discord. I know earlier I had mentioned it, and some people were going to jump on just to have kind of some live chat going on. So first order of business is a little bit of congratulations for both Ben. Yes, both Ben and Tony for a phenomenal job at the Better Plays 2K. I did not do as well in my first round. I was up against Tony out of a room of 31 players. The odds were not in our favor. And it was funny, the week before we played like 12 games and I won 10 out of the 12. And then he just had it both games early on. So I took a loss in the first round. Second round was a very close game, going to 3. And, it came down to having a Pyroblast in hand and just 1 turn short. So that was the second one. And then I won my third match. And probably could have kept, having some fun. But I did give my win to the opponent so he could keep going. He was going to stay the rest of the day. And I was getting home to my kiddos. So, I passed at that point. But it was just awesome to see just the love for Legacy. If you are in I would say anywhere north of Columbus, check out Better Plays. It's just a great group. They can constantly, get a good solid Legacy group, filling the room. So I'm just sharing the screen here really quick just for a photo that I took, just filled up the room. This is, I think, right before we were about to get ready. Again, some great players in the room. A lot of people that did really well at Eternal Weekend are in this room. So again, shout out to Better Plays for putting together a phenomenal event. Okay, so then I'll pass it off to you guys. How did you do? I don't know if there was actual placing for the event, but you were both top 8, right?
I did not. I should have been top 8. I X2 dropped.
Oh, okay.
Which two X2s would have made it, and my last 2 rounds were against 2 people in top 8. So I dropped preemptively. But I mean, I had a birthday party to get to anyway, so
Yeah, it's
had
life.
some fun. Yeah, and I should have played it out, but here we are.
Yes.
Because the 2 X2s that did make it, I think I'm. Can you let her out, babe, please? Sorry. Rebby's barking, but uh, I can't remember the X2s that made it. I don't remember looking, but going into round 5, I think I was at table 2. I was at table 2, and I think one of the X2s that made it was at like table 12.
Mm.
So, like, I had my pairings were my as far as like what is it? Since I played against the Tony and Chase, what is it? My win loss ratio or my opponents? What is it when my opponents are doing really well? That helps
Opponent
my
match win.
yeah.
Opponent
Well,
match win
whatever it
percentage.
is. Yeah, I mean, I was crushing, but it is what it is. Had some fun. Went to Top Golf. Whacked a couple of golf balls. I don't golf, but I do drink beers and I do pay for expensive and overpriced flatbreads, which they have. They have a hot honey flatbread, which is basically just a pepperoni pizza with honey poured on top of it, which
Nice.
I'm a fan of. But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time. Played a lot of good stuff. I got super, super lucky. I got to play against I played against a monoblock Necrodominance deck, and that matchup is abysmal. And Austin, if you're watching, which you probably aren't, but if you are, um, you got really unlucky, and I'm sorry about that because he had the turn 1 thing each game 1 and game 2, and he drew 19 cards and whiffed both times, which is unfortunate. But I'm very grateful because if he, I mean, that deck is it's a really fast combo deck, and I don't play interaction. So, what else? Actually, what?
You guys had a pretty good game, right? I mean, you took was that game 2 that you guys were together, or 3?
Matt,
Yeah, I think I got
fourth round.
Fourth round.
Yeah, going into the 4th round, I was paired against Tony, and it's notoriously a bad matchup for Storm. I mean, you have all the counter spells, you draw more cards, you have all the interaction. Post side, you have Orim's Chant Scumbag. I mean, there's just a lot of things like you can like slow roll an Orim's Chant so that I just like I start just burning through resources and I go, oh sweet, he doesn't have the counter spell, and then you go Orim's Chant, eat shit, and I'm like, oh okay, cool, I'll just suck my own self then. But
I'll suck my own dick.
right,
I don't
yeah,
need you to do it. I'll do it myself.
thank you. But yeah, it was rough, but it was good games. I mean, no complaints. It was good games. I got really unlucky against Chase, who's on post, and he's been playing it for a really long time, but he just he drew into the stuff and I did not, which is I mean, I think game 2, maybe 3, I can't remember. I floated a bunch of mana and echoed and just drew into a bunch of butts, but that's the nature of the game, man. Echo of Eons does be drawing you into butts sometimes. Sometimes it draws you into gas, you know. But it was fun nonetheless. I had a good time. I mean, how can you not? It's Legacy.
Right. 100%. And Tony, how'd you feel overall?
So I felt, I mean, obviously I ran pretty hot. I felt that surprisingly, like the event had 0 blue black reanimator. And I kind of expected like that to be a thing. I was like, there might be like 1 or 2 people on it. So like in my deck building before the event, I made decisions to like make concessions against that, because I figured that like, you know, there wasn't going to be like a 13% like ratio of people there playing it. So I chose to like play more permanent based like graveyard interaction than like fairy macabres. Um, so because like I knew that people would be like more on like um you know, like lands or like strategies like that, that like permanent based strategy is better than like the uncounterable fairy macabre, the soft graveyard hate, if you will. So and then likewise also because of like lands and like painter, and like, you know, the 8 moon deck, which
Woo.
I did not expect there to be that many like 8 moon strategies there. Like there was a lot, but I put a Serenity in my sideboard and I was happy that I did. But I was like more so like just thinking about like lands and like painter and stuff, and I'm like, I want a good like catch-all against all of that. So like my deck building decisions against that like it worked out really well. So I got pretty lucky. It went well. I did make some mistakes, like notable. I did make a mistake against Ben game 1. I should have just forced the Dark Ritual on turn 2. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'll let him go, like expend some resources, and it didn't work out for me. Because like when he cast the Dark Ritual on turn 2, I was like, I gotta force this, and I'm like, you know what? In the moment, I was like, nah, I'm gonna let it resolve. Like, all right, it resolves. And then he thought sees me.
Always
like,
choke the mana.
Always choke the mana, dude. I know we've talked about
That's
it
what
so
you
much.
taught me. Come on.
I know, dude. I know.
Much like always choke the chicken. No.
Hey.
But yeah, no. I mean, like it worked out well. I think other than the mistakes that I made, I played really well. I got lucky. You know, and it worked out. I was able to double draw into top 8, and then we elected to split top 8 on my match win percentage, and my opponent match win percentage. I ended up being first seed overall. So you know, that was pretty
you
good.
guys didn't have to play out?
No, we drew because like the math worked out. Like we got like sub $200 each for splitting top 8. Whereas if you played it out and you got into top 4 and you lost, you still were out like money. So it only made sense to continue playing if you were going to get into top 2. So we're like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. Like we're just going to split, right?
Yep. Makes sense. So moving on, they are having a upcoming event. One thing that's really cool about Better Plays is they do a league as well. So with that, you get points every time you go and play, and then the top, how many is it, Ben? Is it 16?
I think it's 16 get an invite.
They get an invite to a tournament. So
which neither of you guys are invited right now because you guys aren't showing up, and that's crazy.
Yes, we are. We're both in it.
Yeah, we're both in it, and I'm showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, we looked at the list today. We're both in. Come on now. Come on. And the only reason Tony's in is because he did so well at that event. So.
Right.
Oh, that event counts?
Oh yeah, they get double points. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
They posted it on the Discord channel, bro. Where you been? We probably should
where you
copy
been,
that
man?
over. We should probably copy that to our Discord channel too.
Oh, here I am talking shit. Did I make it?
You did.
Nice.
I mean, I'd hope so. Yeah, you are currently 4th.
Nice.
So that event's coming up. So a lot of people, like, you look online and they're like, oh, only 2 people show up to Legacy, or, you know, oh, we can never get it to Fire. Definitely take a look at what Better Plays does. I mean, they are behind the format. They put money behind it. They have a good group that constantly shows up, and they do things like the league where it makes you want to show up and get points and do cool special things. So shout out for that. That'll be coming up on April 13th. And then also towards the end of the month, right, we have another big event that's coming up.
What's the end of the month? Oh, Buffalo Chicken Dip?
The Buffalo Chicken
I
Dip.
can't make it to that.
Oh no! You act like you have a new
Yes.
job. What the heck?
I know.
So the Buffalo Chicken Dip has been announced for Ohio. It'll be at the Warp Gate. It is on a Saturday. It's on April. What's that actual day?
26, 27.
22, yes, 26th. And you can find out information on the if you do a quick Google search for Buffalo Chicken Dip on the Twitters, you can see where they have it pinned on the top. 4/26/25, join us for BCDL 21 in Columbus at the Warp Gate. The winner of each event will walk away with a volcanic island. Seems pretty good. So it's
a small gold chicken.
I hope that I win it just so I can have it with me on every single pod that we
I'd be
record.
pissed.
I know.
I'd be
I'd
happy
be
for
sick.
you, but I'd be pissed because that's the only thing I want. I don't care about the dual lands. I'm not going to use a white-bordered dual land. What am I?
Right. Yeah, I don't care about the duels either, dude.
Yeah,
I'll sell it immediately.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I want the chicken.
immediately sold. Yeah,
Oh
I just
my.
want that goddamn gold chicken.
Dude,
That chicken though.
I used to have like one of my like primo prizes from all the tournaments that I've done well at. One of my primo prizes was the Super Sorrow playmat that I got second at, like this like big like I don't know what it was. Like I can't remember, like a PTQ or something, or like a GP type deal. But they gave out playmats for the top 8 and I got second. And so like, but like it was like this big deal to me because I was like, I got this sweet playmat, and it was this Super Sorrow playmat. And then my youngest kid, he drew on it. So
Well, I mean that adds flavor to it.
it
Now
adds
it's just
flavor.
now it's a lot cooler.
Well, he drew squiggly lines and stuff. So like it was not just distasteful. I like it clean. You know that. I like it clean.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So moving on from there, we hope that we see you there. I plan to be there as long as military aligns. I do have drill that weekend, but I think that I will be able to still make it. I served my country on some off weekends, so hopefully I can get a couple days off there.
We appreciate you.
Yes, so hopefully I'll be able to be down there. If not, I'll be at least in Columbus and stop by and say hello. So speaking of military and things that got shot down this week, let's talk a little bit about our banned and restricted announcement. This is what a lot of people have been talking about. It drew a lot of discussion on the Discord, and I will give it this. Tony needs to hear this. You called it. You're awesome. You're an eternal wizard. We get it. Okay. We get it. Okay.
Dude, I love it. Thank you.
We'll just get
Thank
that out of
you.
the way right now
Thank
because
you.
I know that's what you're looking for here.
Thank
So
you.
good
Yes.
job. You
Say
called
less.
it
Say
on,
less.
when we were there on Sunday, you said they're going to do Sowing Microspawn Troll and maybe something from Oops All Spells. So you were correct. You did say maybe. So, I mean, it counts, right? You said maybe, and this they opted not to. So let's break this down. When it comes to Sowing Microspawn, so that's the one that on the Discord I was like, here nor there on it. Did it suck to play against? Yes. But Troll, I do want to talk a little bit about Troll and why was that the one that was hit? And I don't want to just repeat what a lot of the other things are, other podcasts and whatnot are saying. But why do you think it's important that they took Troll of Khazad-dûm out? Is that enough?
So yes, I do believe that it is, and I say quotes in enough, like in a razor thin margin. So like, the strategy of like Entomb Reanimate, right? Like in itself is very good, But the problem that you had with that deck, and like this is again like kind of paraphrasing what other people have said, but it is true. You have to play a certain density of threats in order to facilitate like entomb plus reanimate like being a thing, right? You can't just play one card in your deck that you try to entomb for, because if you draw it like and you have no way to get rid of it, so like you have to play a certain number of density with the threats. So that leaves you in this like weird spot where like you randomly end up with like them in your hand and they're kind of dead cards. But like what Troll did for the deck is it broke two fundamental barriers. So when you play a tempo deck, you're making like logistical concessions to I'm playing Days, I'm playing Wasteland, and I'm going to try to get you on those axes. Or axes. And like if I open a hand and I have like 6 cards plus Wasteland, like I have to mulligan, right? And then same thing, like if I open a hand and I have like on the draw 1 land double Days, like it's just not great, right? So what Troll did for that is Troll of Khazad-dûm actually said that it was an Entomb and a Polluted Delta in the same card, right? Like that's exactly what it did. It played around cards like Blood Moon. It was able to give you like these really soft opening hands of like Wasteland or double Wasteland, no blue black mana, and like you can still like reanimate it next turn, plus Wasteland them, plus have Days up. So like it broke fundamental barriers, making it okay. I'm either this all-in reanimator deck that like Dark Ritual and Tomb Reanimate type deal, or I'm this blue black tempo deck where I'm trying to utilize cards like Wasteland and Days and stuff. So Troll really, really like blurred that line so well that it didn't it where you would make a deck building restriction before, Troll made it so blurry that like the deck just functioned so well. The fact that Wizards recognized that, because like we knew that as legacy players, right? Like it might have not been like glaringly apparent to people, but like when you argued that point and people were like, oh yeah, like no, that makes sense. And yeah, like, oh, it makes sense, but it's like silly to see a card like Troll of Khazad-dûm on the ban list. But like, no, that's literally the glue that makes that deck specifically function to the capacity that it functions to. That was the problem, right? Like that might not be the overall problem, right? But it was the reason that that deck was like percentage points higher than anything else. So it was the glue that held it together. So yes, like that was the correct ban, in my opinion. Now, will that solve things in 12 months? We don't know. But I think right now, or 6 months ago, yes, like that card absolutely mirrored those two lines way too well. And the fact that it said Entomb plus Polluted Delta on a single card that you could do through Wasteland, like, yeah, like that was the card. So, like, kudos to Wizards for that.
Okay. Ben, you got anything to add?
No, I agree with all those things. It also, it's just, it's not doing the combo thing. It's not doing like Gristlebrand things, but it just didn't need to. It's just that good. Also, sorry, Michael Spawn, I think. Are we only talking about Troll right now, or can I just say...
Yeah, any other thoughts for Troll? Because, and also one thing that I've heard a lot of people say is kind of the sacred cows, right? So if you take, Entomb, if you take that, you're taking away a whole strategy. You're not taking away just a single card. You're taking away basically a whole part of what makes us great, right? So if you got rid of Blood Moon, like all we have, well, I guess we would technically still have Magus, but it's a big impact for us. Whereas if you take away Entomb, you take away those things, like you're taking away an entire part of what makes Legacy great. So I know a lot of people have said that as well, that there are some sacred cows in Legacy. and just making those small changes instead of just totally wiping it off the face of the earth.
Well, I mean, I agree with all that too. Like, if you think about Reanimator prior to Troll, I mean, sure, it saw some play, but like, also it was never just dominating the meta by a landslide. Well, it was at one point in time, but a long time ago. Like,
Well, right. Like it was the most played combo deck, but you're right. Like it was so all in. Like if you got to turn 4 against Reanimator, you're like, yeah, like I'm in the driver's seat, right?
right.
Now the other one, the old micro spawn. So let's talk a little bit about this. This is the one that got a lot of heat on the Discord. For me, like I said, playing against this card, there has been many times, two specifically this summer, when I was playing against Rami, and I was like, I have this lockdown. Like, I have a lock piece out. I have, and that was in the Vexing Bobble days. So I have my lock pieces out. I have, Blood Moon is down. This is great. No way to create, the wastes mana, and we're good to go. And then all of a sudden, the micro spawn comes out, and they're able to get out from under my Blood Moon and just take the game over. So did it suck to play against? Yes. I didn't play against a ton of Eldrazi, if I'm being 100% honest. I'm not as active on the Moto as these guys. So I didn't play against Eldrazi to see if this was or Cloudpost or anything that ran this. So I guess I'm not a good good litmus test, if you will. But Tony, share your thoughts, because you witnessed it even this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Of how powerful this card can be.
Yeah. So interestingly, before I get into this, I want to say that I remember a day shortly after Vexing Popple came out, and I told you, I was like, bro, you need to play 4 Vexing Popples in Blood Moon, like, or Moonstomp, and you're like, man, I don't know. And then like the next week you're like, yeah, dude, like I'm not cutting Vexing Bobble like ever. Like this card's so good. So yeah, like to cue us back to the Vexing Bobble days, like I missed that card. It was good.
So
but I don't. But I don't. So yeah, so Sowing Mycospawn, what it did was it kind of broke like 2 fundamental planes of like Magic, right? It against your deck, like for perfect example, you play Blood Moon, right? You play Back to Basics, right? You play those cards that like punish these unfair mana bases, and how you make a deck building restriction by saying I'm going to elect to play basic lands, to try to combat that. And the fact that Sowing Mycospawn hit basic lands, like that in itself was egregious. And then also, like, again, you were talking about the sacred cows, like, of the format. So the fact that like cards like Ancient Tomb, and more like specifically Eldrazi Temple or Eye of Ugin exist, you could cast this card as early as turn 2 and just say, okay, exile your basic land. Like your basic land doesn't matter. And then when you can kick it effectively on turn 3, which again, yes, I witnessed that this weekend. You can
do it on turn 3.
Yeah, you can literally on turn 3 kick Sowing Mycospawn. It does not matter if they have Force of Will. It does not matter if they have a counter spell. Like you can just say, I'm going to exile your basic land. I'm going to go get a wasteland because I play 3 of them, and I'm going to wasteland your other land. Now you're back to turn 1 and go ahead. So like you're making these deck building restrictions to play around cards like Wasteland and Blood Moon, which are fundamental pillars of Legacy, and Sowing Mycospawn just actually breaks that. So if it was an ETB ability, I don't think we would be having this conversation. But the fact that it was a cast trigger and it was not counterable, like that's the problem, right? So, again, the fundamental pillars of Legacy, Um, I'm taking 2 cards out of my hand. I'm using card disadvantage to try to stop something that I don't want to happen. And it just doesn't matter. So like Myco Spawn kind of broke the barrier in that. And I know that people were like really upset that like it got banned, but at the same time, the other thing that Myco Spawn did was it prohibited decks like Control realistically from existing, because when you can pump something out like a double Wasteland that's uncounterable on turn 3 against decks that play basics and non-basics, like those decks just have a very like uphill battle against the rest of what you're doing. And then, you know, coupled with cards like Cavern of Souls and things like that, like, okay, I'm going to exile your 2 lands, and then the next spell that I cast, because I'm, you know, super ramped, is now uncounterable. And, you know, again, the inevitability, like you can go get Eye of Ugin, and you can go get Cavern of Souls, you can go get these lands that, you know, make your next turn, your next 3 turns like really impactful. You know, the card was just very powerful, and anybody that like didn't see that it broke a fundamental barrier of kind of what Legacy is, um I don't know, I don't think that's correct. Like the card was powerful.
Yeah, and I think anybody that is complaining about it is just looking too narrow into like their realm. Like on a broader spectrum, the card is just insanely good and insanely oppressive. So I can understand, like, for example, in the scenario that they were to ban Lion's Eye Diamond, would I be very bummed? Absolutely. But would I also understand the decision? Absolutely. Like, like you have to understand the card is just good. Like it's a double wasteland on as early as turn 3 to reset the game. Like it's a deck that doesn't need a whole lot of lands to gain advantage. It's casting 4 drops with 2 lands in play. Um, it's I mean
And to be
it's
fair, nobody likes their cards banned. Okay.
right.
Right.
So
Nobody
I
likes
mean,
it
it's
banned.
gonna suck for everybody, and we do have an emotional response sometimes to the things that we love. Like if I found out, like you said, Blood Moon was, I mean, I'd be bent for a couple days, right?
Right.
Like I mean, I am empathetic to those people who got their deck, you know, somewhat, especially like this. Like this was probably a bigger reason for. I don't know if it's bigger, but a pretty big reason for that deck to be successful.
Yep.
You know, when it comes to Reanimator with Troll, like we're starting to see some cool builds come out, right? I mean, it looked like I saw a World Gorger combo with Reanimate. I saw all different like 4-color Reanimate decks that are happening. So people are trying different stuff, which is what makes this format keep growing and keep getting better.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there are also on the other side of the other end of that spectrum. In the top 8 was Chase, who was playing Post. He said that one of the main reasons that he was there playing was because he thinks it's going to be the last time he's going to be able to register Myco Spawn. Like, as somebody who is actively playing 4 of that card in his deck,
Right.
he knows that it's just that good. Like, which it is. It is. I mean, there are things that are game changing. Like any 2-for-1 is going to be a good card. This is a 3-for-1. You're getting a very thick body and you're wiping 2 lands. Like it's good. It's a good card.
That is a good point. I mean, a 3/3 does matter.
Yeah, it's in Legacy a 3/3. I mean, Delver has been an archetype forever. And granted,
Right.
it has evasion, but wiping 2 lands is kind of like having an evasion tactic.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the card is gone for the people that played it, but it does make sense.
Right. So transitioning away from that,
What were the other bands? They changed something. Modern Breach, Pauper, stuff.
yeah,
Pauper got an
Pauper
overhaul,
got
dude.
quite a bit, yeah, because Deadly Dispute and the Brood Scale is gone. So
That
those were
face.
those were two pretty big things. I don't know about the rebirth.
I don't play anything other than Legacy and Commander. I was just curious.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Put 3 goblins on the play, but they did bring back High Tide and the old prophetic prism. So
The
draws a
Mana Filter
card, add 1 mana of any color. Yeah, so that's been brought back. Other than that, yeah, not much else going on. And I want to say there's a commander one that's happening at the end of this month, maybe, or into the spring a little bit. We're gonna see an update to that as well.
So,
So no Deathrite Shaman, no Deathrite Shaman.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
the notable thing that I thought in the literature they posted about the approach to Legacy, they said again that they are not looking at like nuking a like 20-year archetype, right? Like, and this might have been in like that literature, or it might have been on like the follow-up where like Carmen had talked about.
San
And like
Diego?
Carmen,
Where's she been,
where
huh?
in the world has she
Where
been?
in the world
Seattle.
has
Seattle,
she
actually.
been?
Seattle is exactly where she's been.
But honestly, like I have to give a shout out and kudos to Carmen for like how she addressed this and like her view on it, because like she had said, and I believe in like the follow-up in the commentary that they had, she had said like, you know, we're not trying to nuke like a 20-year strategy. Like we don't want to like ban the card Reanimate, right? But you know, they had like addressed Oops All spells, and she said that she thought that it was a cool deck. Obviously, if like, you know, it became like a large like winning percentage of the metagame, they would have to take some action. But how she articulated that they look at things and they're like, well, we don't want to ban like Dread Return, like out of Oops All spells, right? Because like then it nukes Dredge and then it nukes Breakfast. Like it affects multiple decks. So you know, they're like, we would be more inclined to hit something like that specifically targets that deck if it became a problem. But hopefully, like these minor changes like alter the metagame in a way that it is going to be positive for the play experience, right? So I think that the way that she articulated that, and a lot of times in the past, Wizards has done bans. They've done ban announcements. And I have been like, or I've been, you know, like kind of lackluster about it. I think this time they not only hit it like nail on the head, but their like outlook into how things like are, and like what Carmen said and like how she went like through all of the explanations. I was really impressed, like thoroughly. Like I cannot give enough applause to like how they looked at things, because I have heard people say like, oh, like, you know, they should just ban Memories, Journey, like, you know, and that would make like Oops All spells like, you know, not as good. Like, no, that's not true. Like, if you really want to target Oops All spells, like ban Spy, ban like one of the enablers, right?
You listening? You listening, Wizards?
You listening? Well, I mean, they are like, and that's the thing. Like the glimpse that I got, and like I listened very like intently to what she was saying, and like their like thought process behind it, and like kudos, like truly, you know, because like again, like people were like, oh well, like you know, Nadu, like the play patterns, like Sensei's Top, like the play and I'm like, okay, for one, if you ever played Legacy with Sensei's Top, like Nadu's not even close. Okay.
Yeah, it's just better and faster.
Right. Yeah. No. Like the problem with like top was like, you know, you fetch, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna look at the top 3, and now I have a decision. I have a minute to make my decision. And then you go, okay, I'm gonna put my lane into play. I'm gonna cast Ponder. You go, you know, I'm gonna top again. I'm gonna rearrange my cards, and I have another 60 seconds to look at my cards, right? And then you go, okay, I'm gonna resolve my Ponder now. Now you have 60 seconds, and then you know you cast another spell, and I'm like, I'm gonna top. You know, I'm gonna draw a card. You know, and like so like the play patterns of like top were so drawn out, and like essentially what Nadu says is, you know, okay, like I have Nomads plus Nadu to play. I'm gonna look at the top 4 cards in my library. I'm gonna put you know all the lands into play, and I'm gonna put all the cards in my hand. Like, you know, the play patterns of that aren't nearly as time consuming as what Top was. Um, and it's a 3 mana spell in Legacy that like is just a good value engine. And the fact
Well,
that
who
like
doesn't love good top?
I mean, no, I love Top. I love Top. But the like top mirrors, like the Miracles mirrors, like they were pretty abysmal, right? Like you're like, why have so
Yeah.
many decisions, you know? And like just Naughty's like not there. It's very good, and it can become convoluted in a sense when you have like Bristly Bill or like Scythecath Cub or something. But I just don't think that it's like at that level. So
Yeah. So, with all the cards leaving, I did want to talk a little bit about, taketh away there's probably some like famous saying of God taketh away, God give, I don't know, whatever that might be. But we do have a new set that is launching right now in this week. So if you're watching the live stream, not Dragons of Tarkir, Dragon Storm Tarkir is going to be released. So let's go ahead and share this screen really quick. We are actually going to do the entire screen here. So hopefully we can see that on the video stream. So the first one that Ben was super excited about, he's going to run 4 of. Well, I don't know about all that, but we have a dragon with Storm. What could go wrong, right?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be game changing by any scale of measure, but there
No.
was a point in time where we were playing Ave, which I don't know if you have read Ave Progenitor Ooze, but the point was against like a Delver style tactic. And we were playing Witchclaw Talismans at the time, but you would go like you would bring in an Ave post side, and you would have it in your deck so that you could go spells mana. Activate Wishclaw Talisman, go hold priority, sack an LED, get an Ave, cast an Ave, and you'd have like 5 creatures, right? Which against Delver style decks that have spot removal, it's hard to deal with. And Ave is cool, but it's not as good as the Scion. Obviously, the Scion is insane.
Yeah. So for 6 mana, you are getting a 4/4 dragon, and then with Storm, you're just getting these big ass dragons. I mean, you're at Storm 5 even, and you pull this thing out, like that's wild. That's super, super cool. So Ben just brought that one to my attention right before we started. The one that I am most excited about is the Clarion Conqueror. It's a 2 and a white, and it reads activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated.
Texas heaven for a 3-drop creature.
Yeah, for 3 and a flying 3/3 nonetheless.
No.
So initiative be going wild. I'm excited about this. I'm buying 4 of. It just turns off all the things, which is so awesome. I only want to play the game. I don't want other people to play the game. So I do think there's going to have to be some slight modifications, but the mono white vintage Discord is also eating this one up. And they also talk Dad Magic going wild over there. The vintage mono white Discord is excited about this, to the point where someone actually asked, do you think this card's going to be limited in vintage? Like, I don't think it's that good to be limited.
It could.
But it is pretty good. Okay. For
Pretty good.
3 mana, turn 1, get that bad boy out there.
Yeah. Oh, hey, nice Lotus over there. Nice.
Right.
Mox Diamond, or Mox. We don't play Diamond.
Mox everything.
Who needs a diamond when you've got all the other Moxen?
You know that's right.
But,
you know that's right. 13 days away, Ben. 13 days.
Very true. You know what I'm doing right now? I am adding a lot of stuff to carts.
Yeah.
Currently. I'm window
Hell
shopping.
yeah.
I'm window shopping what it would look like to buy um, Simic show.
Noise.
Yeah.
Noise.
Oh, dude.
So good.
The deck is so cool.
So moving on from there, Clear and Conquer, I'm probably most excited about this. So we talked about this card just on our personal chat a couple weeks ago when it was first kind of announced. So Mistrais Village reads this land enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest. Tap to add a blue, or tap the next spell you cast this turn can't be countered. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to see some play in Legacy. I don't think a ton of, but I think that, and again, the colors are kind of weird, right? Like to have a mountain or a forest in play, like it's going to be some corner cases. But I do think this is going to be Legacy playable. What do you guys think?
It's not impossible. I mean, for me, like, so, um, Bryant Cook, I'm not going to take credit for this because Bryant Cook was saying it on his thing, but I will say he brought up a very fair point. Whereas, like, the most relevant spell that Storm would want to, because, like, and this will enter untapped because I have forests and mountains, I have taigas, I have badlands. I mean, it'll enter untapped, but um, the spell that is most relevant to guaranteeing resolves is a Veil of Summer for me. So like effectively this would make Veil of Summer a 3-drop because you need one blue, you have to tap it for the ability, and then you would need the Veil for the green, right?
Right.
You know, with Storm being so choked on mana, it's potentially just not realistic. So as far as um, as far as playability, it is playable. To what extent, I'm not sure. I mean, at the end of the day, it still just taps for blue too. So like,
Right.
it is also that very little drawback. It just does have an added perk of could potentially make a Veil of Summer uncounterable, which will make every other spell that I cast uncounterable, which is very solid.
Also, what's hot is tapping this to play Omniscience or Show and Tell.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it right, TJ. Like anything that is really dense on like resolving like a single spell, like Show and Tell, Doomsday, like those decks. Like I think those decks are interested in a card like this. Um, I don't think that any deck that's playing like a tempo or like a control type style deck is like really looking at this necessarily.
Does Delver care about this?
No, I don't think so.
It's not worth the slot.
No, because like you said, like there's a like deck building restriction to it. Like, like the mountain or forest is a thing. But like the mana for it too. Like it's a blue mana plus the mana to cast your spell.
Yeah.
So like, to make an uncounterable brainstorm, you have to have 3 lands in play. So like
It effectively increases the CMC of the thing that you want to be uncounterable by 2. So
right.
like
because you're losing that land.
yeah,
Right.
you have to tap
Yeah.
it for the ability and you have to
Yeah,
pay the
yeah.
blue.
I see what you're
like,
saying. Yeah.
Show and Tell becomes a 5-drop that can't be countered, which is relevant, but still, really pushing.
Yeah, this is like a one of, maybe like in the main deck, like maybe like a sideboard like one of kind of.
And I wish it had a land type here to like search, so that way it's more of like a utility.
Yeah.
I think that'd be nice if it was fetchable.
Yeah, well, probably if it were fetchable, then it might be actually broken.
Yeah.
I think and I mean I say that I don't think it would actually be broken. I'm just saying that it would be almost too good. Just because you can choose to fetch it on turn 1 and let it just enter the battlefield tapped on an opponent's end step just cuz, or
Right.
you can at the time that you know that you're going to need it just go, all right, let's fucking go, boys. But like with the drawback of it not being fetchable, like you have to naturally draw into it when you need it, and you don't want to play multiple of them because it is going to enter tapped a lot of the time. So like it's not a card that you're playing 4 of unless you're playing like mono blue, which well, if you're playing mono blue, it enters tapped, so it's probably fucking bad. But
Right. And
like
Raimi had a good point, a good sideboard card even for like show and tell. You know, if you find that you're running up against a little bit more of a controlling matchup,
Yeah.
to be able to bring that in. I mean, those colors are definitely in show and tell, not omni-tell as much, but show and tell for sure. Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll see in a couple months how meta shakes out, but I think it's a solid maybe. The next one, Rakasha's Bargain, an
So,
instant for
Rakshasa.
Rock Lobster. Rock
You're the
Lobster
teacher here.
Bargain.
This is crazy.
Rock Lobster Bargain. Rock Lobster Bargain.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So it's 2 colorless or black, 2 colorless or a green, 2 colorless or a blue. And it says, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 of them in your hand and the rest in your graveyard. Who is this card for? I mean, it's kind of pricey, right? At that mana cost.
It's 3.
Correct. In those colors, sure.
I mean, I don't see this as a legacy playable card. I do see what like at the end of the day, you could also just Ancient Tomb green blue. Like you
Right.
could also just tomb blue, you know what I mean? Like no matter which way you look at it. But I mean, this is look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 in. This card is going to see a lot of commander play.
Yeah.
This card is going to see a lot of commander play. I guarantee that. I don't see that being legacy. Yeah, I don't see it being legacy.
This was like one of the closest ones I could find as maybe even being, because I wanted us to have, we have Bug Beans. I mean, yeah, that mana cost seems.
Yeah, but like Beans, so that's only got a 3 CMC. Like if you cast it for green, black, blue, that's only casting, so it'll be recognized as 3 on the stack. So you'd have to Ancient Tomb cast it, which so like it makes it clunky. I don't know.
No, I mean you could
Would
do
it be
2
3?
generic. No, you could do
2, 3, 4. That's only 4. That does not trigger Bean. So it would have to be 2 generic, 2 generic. So you'd have to pay 5 mana for this, and this spell for 5 mana is kind of butts.
Does Beans say specifically what you paid?
no,
CMC
no.
5 or greater, but the CMC of this, because it's hybrid mana and it's giving you a choice, I believe it's going to go recognize the CMC on the stack. So just like an X spell, right? So like when you cast an like prismatic, so no, I don't think it does. So I don't think it does count for 6 no matter what, because same with like okay, prismatic, let's use prismatic ending as any X spell, right? If I pay 5 into the X and it's a 6 CMC spell, at that point on the stack it's going to be recognized as 6. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean it's giving you the option of using green or the double, right? So like hybrid mana spell of choice being green or double mana, it's going to recognize on the stack just like it would an X spell, I would assume.
I think it
it counts for 6.
Yeah. I think it's 6, bro.
Let's get a judge call in here. Judge.
Yeah. So
I think it's 6, bro. I think because it's like beseech the queen, right?
CMC is 6. It says.
Dang, Streamlabs just fucking. Oh, I just said an F word, but just told Rami to watch his language.
For what? Oh, Ben is talking after that.
Well, yeah, but leyline binding is a different scenario because leyline binding is being reduced by cost reducers. It's different. So like, it has a hard set CMC. Like,
so we have 3. Oh, here's another one. CMC. We have multiple places.
okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time, and I guarantee
I
it's
told
not going to be the
Streamlabs
last.
to shut it up because we love Rami.
Yeah, cut them a lot.
Oh, look, it's even right in the top. Even Google AI says
Hey.
converted mana cost is 6.
6.
Right here. 6. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool for Beans. We'll see. We'll see what show. I thought this was a family channel. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
the
I think
furthest from.
I'm almost positive that's Blaze.
Yeah.
That Jeff is Blaze.
God, if
Geoff.
it is, if it is, he better be watching this naked and sending me pictures later. I love Blaze.
Dude, he
man.
was
He's
smoking a
such dog.
stogie earlier, man. He was living the dream. I told him
You're
I needed.
outing him. You're outing him on the internets.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I should keep it incog.
Oh my!
I shouldn't tell people who they are.
Oh, that's weird. Sorry, sister is calling me at 10 o'clock at night. The next one, Rally the Monastery. So this is 3 and a white. It says the spell costs 2 less if you've cast another spell this turn. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+2 until the end of turn, or destroy a target creature with power of 4 or greater. What are our thoughts on this one?
This spell costs
I mean, I think it's like a modern power level playable card, right? Like, I don't
Okay.
think it's like anything I feel great about in Legacy.
Yeah. So I love the
I don't.
So-
I could see this being played in Legacy.
2 target creatures getting +2. I love that it's a little sneaky sneak. I love the destroy a target creature with power 4 or greater.
I mean, I could see this being played in Legacy because, like, you can do it on their end step. So they go, I'll cast a spell. Let's say they go Ponder, right? And then you go, and you're holding up a white and whatever. Oh, you've cast another spell.
You've
Nope,
cast,
it's
not
bugs.
they.
Yeah, it's
Not
bugs.
they.
Yeah, I think it's like okay. Like I'm not like, yeah, this is a Legacy card. I'm like, meh.
I mean, it does deal with Murktide, which is cool.
Yeah. Like if I draft this card, I'm like, cool. If
Yeah.
you want me to register this in my Legacy deck, I'm gonna ask you for a sobriety test.
Yeah, it still costs 2 mana. It still costs 2 mana to make 2 tokens. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's vanilla.
I
wouldn't
think
call
where
it
people
good.
are like attracted to this is they're like monastery men are prowess tokens, like modal spell. Like I think that's where people are gravitating towards.
You're calling modal, huh?
Yeah, modal. Yeah, okay, modal. Yeah, cryptic command vibe. Sorry, I'm old.
I'm just saying words. I'm just saying words, dude. Don't mind me.
The next one, Voice of Victory. So for 2 mana, a human bard, mobilize 2 whenever this creature attacks, create 2 tapped and
Good.
attacking 1/1
good.
red warrior creature tokens, sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step.
It's good.
I'm going to make Boros Prison just for this card because I can sacrifice the tokens.
Yeah, I mean, card good. I mean, just strictly, reading the your opponents can't cast spells during your turn just means Force of Will is not playable. Granted, it's still a creature that has shit power. It's a 1/3. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, like, also, it's guaranteeing that the thing that you want to resolve is resolving, or a swords is eating a voice. Like, sure, swords the voice. I don't care. I wanted to make sure that this thing lived.
Yeah, and
Is
Tony
playable.
brought up a good point earlier when we were talking about it. It literally turns all of your opponent's instants into sorceries at that point, right? Because that's great that you kept that that 1 white up for your swords. Eat it. Like now we're gonna throw you off tempo wise on your turn. So
Well, it's Saber's like it's a 2-drop creature with 3-drop Teferi's ability. You know what I mean? Almost.
right.
What do you
Whenever
got
this
over
creature
there?
attacks, create 2 tapped and attacking 1/1
Oh,
sacrifice.
that
Okay, yeah.
was
So they still
crazy.
go. They still go to. I think this bad boy is just a CDH creature.
Which is
So-
also still just playable. And I'm not saying that this is going to be a legacy staple. I'm saying that this is just a good card. This card is good and it will see play.
I also want to point out that I think it's harder to get white than it is white colorless. A little change, little different. But Grand Abolisher also picks up activating the abilities too. So
Also, Grand Abolisher has been reprinted and it's still a $20 card. Like, The playable card is a playable card, whether it's in now. I don't see it doing anything crazy in Legacy, but it is also just a playable card. It's just a good card, man. And if it has a cool frame, if they have like a borderless one, fuck around. If they have like a retro border bath, yo, come on, touch me. That's insane. What is
look
he?
at him
Is he
bard.
guitaring? What's he doing?
He's that actually has a special name. I don't remember what it is.
Well, I like it, and he's killing it. He's crushing it. Oh, he's guitaring in the first one too.
Yeah, he is barding away.
I love
He's
that.
definitely barding away on his cool guitar. So, we did get some things taken away. I know, Rami, it's not as good. These are not as good to replace your micro spawn. But I do want to have you on and just kind of talk about it from your point of view. As far as that ban and kind of what things are happening now that those cards are gone. So
He's gonna be playing mud again because he's a scumbag.
he did mention that a little bit up here that he's going to put together Big Daddy Ugin, Mud, Post, or Ugin and Mystic Forge.
You missed Rami's mud deck in the days, boyo. I mean, 4 foil. What's the creature that says tap? Add 2 colors for each colorless thing you reveal in your hand. Metalworker. So he had a place, had a foil metal. I mean, the whole deck was foil, but it was foil.
Oh shit! I was muted. I was like spewing out Metalworker, and nobody heard me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the Metalworker. Like it had. I mean, he had mud, all foil and all non-foil. So like, if someone else wanted to play it, because like if I ever foiled out Storm, I'd have it in foil and non-foil because I'm not gonna off the non-foil. But like, yeah, he was the mud boss, and he was my arch enemy because I don't know if you knew this or not, but 4 Trinisphere, 4 Chalice of the Void, pretty fucking decent against Storm.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to go to that life. That's gonna be my new backup deck.
You're scum. I got the perfect card for y'all. The Pulverize. It's in there and ready. I mean, I still got to draw it, but
Metalworker was my first reserve card list. Nice.
Yeah, dude, the card is very cool. I mean, Metalworker is just gas. Also,
dude, what was my first reserve list card?
So Rami will tell you his best turn 1 play was Swiftfoot Boots, because you would like go turn 1 Swiftfoot Boots into turn 2 Metalworker, boot him up, and then you would activate. Oh yeah, he didn't have the test print foiled City of Traders, but like, so he would Swift Boots up the Metalworker so it would have haste, and then he would tap it, float a shitload of mana, and then he could Kudotha Forge Master. So he would go artifact, Kudotha Forge Master, activate the Kudotha Forge Master, search for Paradox Engine or something, Mystic Forge, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're winning. The game's over. But he had the staff too. What is it? The Staff of Dominance, I think. Because it played like Tax's Control, right? Like it was just sick. Yeah, turn 1 Greaves. I said Swiftfoot Boots. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 27.5.
It's 27.5 for a foil 7. I mean, it's fine.
Let me tell you the real issue with that is doesn't come in Japanese. Not interested.
Oh god.
You can get them sent to. No, here's what you do, Rami. You get cities and you send them to Scourge and have them alter them foil.
I'm just gonna order this. I just have to make an offer for $243,750.
Oh yeah, turn 2
and then I'll
Haste Blightsteel is pretty fucking decent.
And I'll just cut these up for you guys, and we'll put them in our Christmas cards.
Perfect.
It's only $243,750.
Okay,
Run
if
it,
the
dude.
channel
Run it.
makes that money, like it doesn't matter about anything else. We just have to buy this,
Yeah.
right?
Like, good God.
Yeah, like we get nothing. Like we just buy this and then send it to everybody. I love that.
Hashtag squad goals.
I'd actually have it. I would just
don't say
frame it
squad
and I
call.
would
I'm
put it in
on
my
the squad
office
tomorrow.
and
Don't
work
say
for
that.
something Stupid.
Don't say that. I feel very dirty already
Why, for doing what?
for being on the squad tomorrow, bro.
You'll be fine.
No,
You
I
got this.
What do
won't.
you mean? What do you mean on the squad tomorrow?
On the amber lamps, bro.
The ambulance.
Oh,
I got to do my day, bro. My day in the barrel.
it'll be fun.
No, it won't.
All right, so I do want to talk about the last thing on our agenda, which is what are some of the new decks that we can potentially see as moving their way up the meta. So as a quick
Simic
snapshot, Simic Snow,
Amitel. Oh, there it is. Right there.
Omnitel.
Fucking
Yeah,
Amitel.
yeah. So in the last 7 days, this is kind of what our meta game is. 2 days in, Demir Tempo going to the top. Red Stompy, love to see it.
Going to
With
the top,
Trinisphere,
boss.
it never left. Okay, it never left my build. Trinisphere should have stayed.
Fuck
Trinisphere. Omnitel, Delver, Oops All Spells, etc. So I wanted to kind of come over here to this recent decks area, right, and kind of see what we can expect to be doing well. So this one was interesting. Tamir Cascade, World Gorger, and then this one, and then I'm going to grab one of these Demir Tempo lists. Okay, so Tamir Cascade making a showing, 5-0. I don't know how common is this deck. Was this just a fringe report that, I mean, is this any indication that this is going to be doing well?
Footfalls is a playable deck, dude. Footfalls is fine.
And there's a local guy that has it, but I just didn't know if it's something for it to be 5-0. Is that
J Will 1 said blue painter.
Blue Painter's
Cody, you are 100% right. If it's not in Japanese, is it even a real Magic card? Absolutely not. That's the real answer. If it was not printed in Japanese, it's not playable. That's for real.
10 fins, dude. 10 fins.
10 fins.
Which is what his deck was registered as, I believe, for
Right,
Eternal
yeah.
Weekend.
Playing something completely different. He's like, you know what? We're registering it as 10 fins today.
So Jeff had
You
mentioned
said that very uncomfortably.
That's the
Like,
goal.
I'm uncomfortable the way you said it.
So Jeff
Yeah. So you're trying
had
to subvert
talked
yourself.
about black white Ketramos. I think that black white Death and Taxes is definitely going to see some resurgence because the blue black tempo deck, like in my opinion, is like just the best thing to be doing like for a mid-range tempo strategy moving forward. Like it's just better than Delver, right? It has Kaido, like its mana base is better. Like,
Kaito.
like yeah, dude, like Kaido is nuts. So I think that if you're going to register a tempo deck, like you just play blue black tempo. Well, the historically the black white like Death and Taxes deck is very good into that, right? So yeah, like do I see like some form of that is also hedging with some like Ketramos or like what Cling to Dust, like something like that, like Felia's. Yeah, like I definitely can see that being a thing.
I love that. Thalia's my girl. Moving on to World Gorger Dragon combo. So the reason I brought this one up, because it has the Entomb Reanimate shell here, with the Unmask, the therapy, everything. So, but with a World Gorger Dragon now in there and an Arbiter of Woe. So I've seen the builds with Grizzlebrand, played against them. I've seen the Archons. I've seen the Atraxes. So World Gorger combo. This was an interesting kind of shell to pop in there because I was looking to see like what's replacing Troll. So that's what kind of sent me down this, but an interesting build, right? I mean, obviously Grizzlebrand getting you so many cards in hopes that you get your
You don't have to
everything that you need to
sugarcoat
combo
it.
off.
I mean, when you say interesting, everybody knows that you think it sucks. I mean,
So I thought
it's
thought that
fine.
was interesting. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting. Also, I noted that it was pretty affordable. But maybe not even just World Gorger Dragon, but are we going to see more of a kind of a Rakdos Reanimator strategy, leaning a little bit more into the red. I don't know. That's to be seen. Mostly what I brought this one up for was this card right here. Are we going to see more of Beans see some play, right? In the local meta, it doesn't feel like there's a lot. But and now that we have confirmed that we have a new 6 CMC card, just reminding everybody that we did determine that it was 6 CMC. Are we going to see more decks like this where
absolutely
we have Beans and again Force? And brings up a good point here. Taxes can't exist so many turn 1, turn 2 combos. The format has to slow down first. So I brought this up earlier on the week. Is someone said, do these bans really do they help control actually get a footing? And to me, like, I think of Orcish Bowmasters as it is to any elf strategy, right? I mean, it just demolishes it. Like, whenever you draw a card, kill one of your elves. Like, that's like a direct answer. So I don't think either of these bans necessarily automatically enabled control just to be awesome. But I think it gives them some credence to be able to build a strategy again, and more people can pick up those decks in order to hopefully, like Remy says, slow some of these combo decks down. So my hope with these bans is, do we have a way to slow down the format? Do we find answers to slow down the turn 1 and turn 2 combos? No offense, Ben. Do we find a way to slow it down, or do we just suck it up for these super fast decks to kind of rise to the top, and that's all that people are going to be playing until the next banner restricted announcement? So
I do think that they're so the reason Storm hasn't just dominated the meta in a long time is because, well, a couple reasons. One, because the sheer fact that it does exist means that the meta is already going to do what it's supposed to do and adjust so that it doesn't dominate. That being said, it's also hard to play. It's also just not like there's a lot of 1-card spells that just say eat shit, so like it is really easy to hate out. So like I think the meta is going to show what the issues are over time, and I think all we have to do is play and figure it out. Let the universe unfold in the ways that it possibly can. I do think Troll getting hit is going to make the Dimir tempo decks less consistent. Like, you still you have to close out the game, and one of the main things that you were playing that increased the consistency of the deck and helped you close out the game is gone. So like,
Dimir Reanimator, not tempo.
It's all the same. It's all the same. It's blue-black spells, and they both play Troll.
Yeah, but I feel like tempo is a very different plan because you have Kaido and Raging.
I'm just saying that like those decks that played those decks, that card that were good, are going to be less good, and that's perfect.
So
that's exactly what we needed.
So I think like, both of you are correct. But I think, like, looking at it from like an analysis point of view, if you go, I did say anal. If you go back to the decks over the past like 3 days that have been doing well, you will notice something significant. And I looked at this earlier in my like precursor stream that exists but doesn't exist. I don't know. TJ's figured it out. He's the tech guy. I don't know. But if you notice the graveyard hate that people are playing, right? They are not playing Fairy Macabre as much as they're playing like Grafdigger's Cage, right? So
which is wrong.
Well, no, because Fairy Macabre is a soft piece of graveyard hate that these decks that are like committed to their graveyard, like Oops All Spells and Dredge, they can just play through a Fairy Macabre relatively easily. You were playing Fairy Macabre um against so yeah, well, yeah, hold up that list for a second, TJ, because I'm going to explain something about that. But um they were playing Fairy Macabre against Blue Black Reanimator because it can't be countered. But against Dredge or against Oops All Spells, Fairy Macabre was just mid, right? And the reason that it was mid because it's soft Graveyard Hate. Because when they board in those 2 extra Dread returns and they board in that Lothwest Giant and they board in the second Thassa's Oracle, those 4 cards right there just make Fairy Macabre not good. It just doesn't work
Yeah,
anymore.
but like, so that's in the shell. That's in the vacuum of Nadu. Um, like obviously against Breakfast or Nadu, your deck is different. Like it's a control deck that also has a combo finisher. But like against Reanimator, the the issue with the issue with the legacy meta is like, so the reason that people were playing, in my personal opinion, the reason that people are playing Fairy over Graph Digger's Cage is because right now the meta is a Force of Vigor meta. There's a lot of Force of Vigor on the post side, and there's 4 right there. But like, Graph Digger's Cage, they're not incentivized to go off until they can, so they're just gonna go, okay, sweet, we'll just play a slow game, and then they go Force of Vigor, I win. Whereas if you have a fairy game plan, you can play reactively, let them think that they're going off. Like, and as a storm player, when I think that I'm about to win, I'm doing a lot of shit. I'm over investing. If the Veil of Summer dissolves, I'm like, okay, what could he potentially have that could shut me out of the game? What's the statistical odds that he has it, kind of thing, and I'm still just playing into my odds. Like, I'm not going to play around Orum's Chant. I have to play through it and hope that you don't have it because it's my one opportunity to win. The earlier I go to combo, the better advantage I have because the odds are you in my favor that you're only you're only increasing your odds to draw it if the game goes longer, right? So like, by playing Fairy over Graph Digger's Cage, you're playing around the Force of Vigor, and you're playing reactive, and you're just winning the game, which is what you want to do. That being said, I do think that it's still kind of flawed, and it doesn't always hit the thing that you're doing. Like in Legacy, so in my Jeskai deck, post side for graveyard strategies, depending on what it is, I have a Containment Priest, I have a Ghost Vacuum, I have a Graph Digger's Cage, and I have a Fairy. Is what I have in the sideboard of mine. And it's because I think on those game graveyard plans, I do think the Graph Digger's Cage is super relevant in the Nadu matchup. But like at this on the same flip side of that coin, it's not enough against Force of Vigor matchups. Like it's just not enough. You need both. You need the Macabre. You need a
So
surprise Containment Priest.
right. So to me, when you just told me your configuration of your 4 pieces of Graveyard Hate, you just told me you have 2 soft pieces and 2 hard pieces, right?
Yeah.
You agree on
Yeah.
that, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the
So
Containment Priest is kind of a hard piece too, but it's reactive.
no, no,
And
no.
I
I'm
do
saying Cage and Containment Priest are your 2 hard pieces.
and Vacuum.
No,
Oh yeah, because I have to activate it, and you can just go, okay,
right.
suck me.
Yeah, Vacuum,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in my opinion, is soft.
yeah. Which
So
is fair. And we're gonna use this term, flaccid.
flaccid, yes. Okay, so you have flaccid and you have hard.
Yeah, yeah.
TJ, give us the thumbs down.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the I agree that I think the hard graveyard hate is important, but I think in certain matchups the fairy is fine. Like also I think in certain matchups the fairy
Oh,
is beneficial because you're playing around something that they are going to bring in. It's
yeah,
just like
sure. Like I played Fairy in lands when I had Spheres main deck because I could cast it or use it under a sphere for free.
yeah,
Um, but I knew that I was making a concession in my deck building by putting a soft piece of Graveyard Hate in my sideboard. It
I
just worked a little bit better with what I had.
well
So
and what I understand that. I'm just saying that the soft piece of graveyard hate is sometimes a necessary evil because Force of Vigor exists, and it's a Force of Vigor. Like Force of Vigor is fucking very heavily played in Legacy right now as opposed
Right.
to, and it's the same thought process as modern Tron days. Like modern Tron ran 3 Nature's Claim on the side stock, and it
Hmm.
was a guaranteed 100% of the time you bring it in post side. You're does not matter the matchup because they are bringing in hard hate for Tron.
What were you right? You just said it though. Why are those dedicated decks playing enchantment and artifact removal? Because they
Because they
can't beat those hard
right.
pieces.
And I'm saying that you need the
They don't.
hard and the soft. You need to be able
Yeah,
to have a balance of both. I think you should be playing both.
I don't.
Um,
I don't necessarily disagree with that from like a deck building stance, but at the same time, you were seeing 3 or 4 fairy macabres like a week ago
yeah.
in like every sideboard or just like leyline, right? And now I think you're going to start to see your Grafdigger's cages, your rest in pieces, your like dedicated hard lock graveyard hate pieces that did not exist 2 weeks ago. And I think that overall is going to evolve the metagame where oops all spells and decks like that just aren't as relevant. Like they're still going to be good,
Yeah.
but like if everybody has the card Grafdigger's Cage in their sideboard now, where 3 weeks ago they did not, like just nobody had it and they just didn't have to play through it. They're like the only thing I have to worry about is like ever a ley line and then like a fairy macabre, which I can just play through normally. So if they don't turn 0 leyline me, I can just play through the fairy macabre. Now they're like, well, I have to play through cards like surgical, and I have to play through cards like, which I think that surgical is more of a hard piece than a soft piece,
Oh.
because because the surgical can hit the Narcomoebas. And I think that's like a pseudo intuitive line. But like when you cast like the baleful spy or whatever,
Balustrade Spy.
yeah, when you cast that guy, um and like you have to like look at the graveyard and like figure out the math, but like if they can't get enough creatures to like dread return, right?
Yeah.
um okay, so like let me look at this list. Okay, so they have Poxwalkers, they have 2 therapies. Okay, so like the Narcomoebas don't matter because they only have 1 Narcomoeba. Okay, so this list evolved. Hold on, let me think about this.
I will
So
say this: if you have a fairy macabre against Oops All Spells, you've won the game.
what?
If I have a fairy macabre and I'm playing against Oops All Spells, I have won the game.
Oh man, I don't agree with that.
I mean, if they're hedging on hitting the Cabal therapy post binning their yard, I have won the game because like you've got dread returns, you've got they have to mill their entire graveyard at the exact time that the trigger goes on the stack. Like it
Right.
happens. It's not they can't mill half their library and then do something and then mill the other half. Like it's not like Nadu. Like it just happens. So when it just happens, I can do one of 2 things. Well, I have to play reactive because they get priority after the thing happens, right? So like the
Hmm.
first spell that they cast, no matter what it is, I'm fucking winning the game. Fairy is going to exile the thing that stops them from winning the game, and the game is over.
So okay, so fair statement. This is game 2, right?
Hmm.
I have a second Thassa's Oracle in my deck. I have 3 Dread Returns in my deck, and I have a Lothlith Giant in my deck.
You just hit
What
the
are you
two
targeting?
Thassa's Oracles.
I have 2 Thassa's Oracles.
Yeah, you hit the two Thassa's Oracles.
Okay, so I reanimate Lothlith Giant, you lose the game.
What was Lawless Giant do?
You take a damage for each creature in my graveyard.
How many creatures do you have? Oh, the single damage? How many
Yeah,
creatures do you have?
I have 30 creatures in my graveyard.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty alright.
Yeah. So
Maybe
those
I'm
4
wrong.
cards. So those That's-
Hey, maybe I'm wrong.
Hey, I love that. I love that. But
Hey,
no. I figured this out. Like
Okay, so why not? Why wouldn't you just so in response to the dread return, so they go to cast the dread return, you go exile the one that they're targeting, and another one.
because
Then what?
Poxwalkers exists.
What
So
about
I
it?
can cast all 3 dread returns in the same turn.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Memory's journey. Memory's journey doesn't even matter. Memory's journey doesn't even matter. Memory's
Well, yeah,
journey
they
is just
also have to just have mana, which a lot of times, that's oops all spells, so they're
Right,
just firing
right.
off.
Like
I don't
like
respect
sure
the deck.
if
I
you
play Storm. I oops all spells sucks.
like sure if you go back to your turn and you're like, okay, I use one of my modal double face cards to do the jack-o'-lantern thing to like put the memory's journey to like put the oracle back on top or whatever. Like sure, right? Um, like sure, memory's journey is redundancy. Like memory's journey is great. That's not why the deck's broken. The deck's broken because of cards like Poxwalkers and like I now have 3 Dread Returns and a Thassa's Oracle and a Lothwith Giant in my deck.
Well, I also don't think the deck is broken because it's not dominating the meta or even close to dominating the meta.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I would not disagree with that.
TJ, you're muted.
So that's what I wanted to bring up too. Like, we're talking about, fast turn 1, turn 2, things, but like just within the last probably 7 days. No, 7 days, it's kind of moved back a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have a turn 1, turn 2. So we don't really see that until we're down here, right? I mean, again, this is the last 7 days. It's still shaking out, but do we have that many fast decks?
Yes.
You have Storm.
No.
Storm can
Storm
win on
is
turn.
fast, Tony. Damn.
Oh yeah, no. I'm saying not in those top. In
Oh,
those
yeah.
top.
Storm is never going to be in the top.
No,
Storm is
but as far
considered
as
tier
like the
6.
format, like let's put us like if we were putting our little speed limit radar gun on the format right now, like what is the fastest? So we have
Three of those 5 top decks are turn 1
Reanimator?
decks.
Reanimator. Like Demir Tempo's not.
No, but Stompy is.
Hey, whoa.
You turn 1 Blood Moon
Rami
me, and
said
I
my
have
soft piece turned into a hard piece with this conversation. And he's talking about his dick. He's got a throbber over there, and I love that.
yeah, no, I mean red Stompy, absolutely. Like turn 1 Blood Moon on the play. I have 2 fetch lands in my hand and I don't have Force Will. Yeah, you just won the game on turn 1.
No. It takes me a little bit to get there.
Okay.
Red Stompy. We're not talking about Red Stompy, okay?
We're not
You keep my deck out of your mouth, okay?
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
just ban
Omnitel. That is like I mean very easily turn 1, turn 2.
Yeah.
It does and does not play Lotus Petals. It plays like 2 maybe.
It depends on whose list you're looking at. The list that I'm looking at, which is the one that I'm going to slap together, I think, is.
You should do this one. This one's hot. 9-0. Damn.
No, well, being a combo player at heart, I'm going to do what Bryant Cook did and do 4 Lotus Petals in the main. Just turn up. I am going to make some changes. Like, he's not playing a Veil of Summer in the side, which I think is wrong. I think you need a Veil of Summer to Cunning Wish for. Like, just getting an end step. Like, in the scenario I'm in the control matchup, I can go end step Cunning Wish to go get a Veil of Summer, so I can just have a vanilla Veil, like show and tell with Veil of Summer backup. Especially in those turns that you just want double backup. I think you just absolutely want, like, you probably don't need the 2 Uros in the side. Like, I think you're fine cutting.
I don't know. This dude went 9-0. Just saying.
Well, the deck is doing well. Like, there's a lot of people that are going to go. There was also an Omnitel in the top 8 at Better Place. Like the deck is just good. Also, being able to cast Sublime. Does it have Sublime Epiphany? If it doesn't have Sublime Epiphany, I'm out.
It's
Out,
just not.
bro. Have you read that card, Sublime Epiphany?
Oh
In
yeah.
the side, it's a sideboard card, but you Cunning Wish for it.
It's got like you like what choose 4 modes or something.
Any number, you can choose all
Mhm.
4 of them. So like,
Mhm.
counter target spell, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, counter target activated or triggered ability, draw a card, create a token. Like it's just like, do whatever you want. You
Good God.
win. You win. But like, you're casting it for free because you have omniscience. You know what I mean? I saw somebody, and I don't know if I said it during this podcast, but if I did already, I apologize for being redundant. I said it a million times. Stop over exaggerating and being redundant. But no. So in the car, I saw when Bryant streamed it because he was like, if I was going to a big event, this is what I'd play right now. And he streamed it or posted a video on YouTube, whatever. And he show and telled, put in a omniscience, and then went to cast something, and in response, his opponent cast a leyline binding to exile it. He cunning wished in response for 0 mana, got a Sublime Epiphany, let it resolve, countered the trigger, returned another permanent, drew a card, and created a copy of something. I'm like, dude, that's the life I want to live. I want my shit to shoot off my pelvis from getting that hard that fast. And that's exactly how you do it. That card's really cool
Yes.
too.
Release
that-
the ants.
Yeah, that card's really fucking cool.
This is wild.
Yeah,
this is
'cause you
like
just
some
cast it
Infinity stuff.
infinitely. Yeah.
Each
Yeah,
classing
like-
player puts that
like-
card on the top or bottom. Player wins if his or her has a higher CMC.
Right,
Yeah.
like if you like reveal like a Force of Will or a Lorien reveal, right? Like
Yeah.
not the
And they
not
go
the highest.
land, and you just go.
You just keep doing it, right? And like if they don't play Force of Will and you know that they don't have anything like 5 CMC, like you just say I deal 1 billion damage to you because you just keep casting it.
I will proceed to do this over and over and over
Wait,
again. but
how are you-
arbitrarily large
How are
amount.
you getting it back?
What
what am I-
It just goes back to your hand.
Yeah, you
clash,
return it to your
and
hand.
then if
you
you win the
clash.
clash, it goes to your hand.
Oh.
So you're like, I will poke you infinitely. Is that
Yeah,
cool?
I will
We
poke
good,
you.
dude?
I like the
You-
word poke.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was one of my favorite.
Wait, I didn't. It doesn't say that Clash returns it back. Is that just a
No,
Clash?
Clash with an opponent. If you win, return or release the ants.
Oh, that's the part that I did not see.
So like there was a card. So the reason I say poke is because there's a card called Searing Touch, and yeah, and I played this in Commander a long time ago, but it's a 1-drop that deals 1 damage to target permanent, but it has buyback for 5, I believe. So it's a 6-drop with buyback, and it says deal 1 damage to any target. And at the time, Paradox Engine was legal in Commander. So what I was doing was I was going Paradox Engine, a bunch of artifact mana base, and then Searing Touch with buyback was my win con. So I would just go like Demonic Tutor, get a Searing Touch, I'll deal 7 billion damage to you by paying 6 mana to poke you 1 time. Do it again. Do it again.
That's wild.
So you would love this, Ben. I thought low key, spoiler alert, about playing Omni Show at the league playoffs.
I think this deck is very cool and not an exaggeration. I have it in my cart right now.
Do you? I mean, I have everything. Like me and CJ were talking about this today. I have everything for this deck except for like some dumb shit. So
I have all original print Japanese in my cart right now, aside from, because I can't find an original print of this in Japanese, Emrakul. The only Emrakuls that exist are full art.
see, I'm more in the camp though of like I like the Uros. So like I would play like 2 Uros main deck. Because
Main? You
Oh, yeah.
animal.
yeah, main deck. And then like 3 Veil of Summers main deck. And then like Hedge Maze and like, you know, the drops and stuff. Yeah, I'm more into this camp, but like with some Uros. And no One Rings. I won't play the One Ring. Like if I resolve show and tell, I'm winning the game. Like I'm not playing the One Ring.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here. Am I able to share my screen? Is that something
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
How
You
do
were
I
just
do
doing
this?
it with you were
Wait,
just
why are you on Corn Hub? Looking at corn stalks.
You were just streaming.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it would kick you off. Let's see.
No, yeah, you can.
So, yeah.
Oh
So
wait, I'm on Corn Hub.
this is the list that I would want to play.
This is what
which-
Bryant played.
Yeah. So like you're only playing one trop because you're playing around Wasteland meta. So like Island, Forest, Four Tomb, like which tombs are still gonna eat Wastelands anyway, but still whatever. And like it's really tidy. I mean, obviously I told you.
Yeah,
already,
this list is very tidy.
Yeah, like I would still add a veil to the side somewhere. Like the wilt, I'd probably change. Like I understand why why it's in there because like you cunning wish for it if you need it. But that being said, there's also just better artifact and enchantment removal. Like you could just have a Force of Vigor in there, and I understand that this has cycling too. But like also, if you're paying 3 mana to go get a cycler to cycle and draw a card, you're probably losing anyway. Like you're that that is Cunning Wish is supposed to be doing something completely different. So like I also want to slam a Eureka in here somewhere because Eureka's fucking awesome.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Like Eureka's a really good card for this deck. And
the difference, I think the difference is between like my list and that list is obviously he plays 2 more Lotus Petals, and then he's playing no Preordains, and then I'm only playing 1 Emrakul.
Yeah.
But I'm playing 2 Urgos. Everything else is pretty much... Oh, and I'm only playing 2 Cunning Wish. But, like, pretty much everything else is pretty similar.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's just... I mean... I think Preordain... You're playing 2 Preordains?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean...
Because I feel like the deck's a turn 3 deck.
Are you playing 4 stock up?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, with stock up and ponder, I don't know if you necessarily need Preordains. Like, I own a playset of Preordains that I just have not touched for the Legacy meta for a very long time because they're just, like, they're very mid. Like, it's like Serum Visions for Modern. It's just not that good anymore.
Well, I think that he's trying to capitalize. So I think the deck's a turn 3
mad
deck.
about his six mana land denial. Brought it back up in the chat.
Dude, I feel so bad.
I mean, hey, like, you know, 6 mana land denial is actually it's double land denial that you get to do on turn 3. Like, it's still just good.
I'm looking at this deck as my turn 1 should be Island Selection Spell, turn 2 Show and Tell. At worst, turn 1 Selection Spell, turn 2 Land Fetch Hedge Maze for protection or something, turn 3 Ancient Tomb with Show and Tell plus protection, whether that's Spell Pierce or Veil. So like I'm looking at this as like a turn 3 deck, and I think that Bryant was pushing this to a turn 1-2 deck.
Well, yeah, the goal is to be turn 1-2. Like, obviously, the sooner you get to go, the better. But at the same time, you're making your deck. So, like, the odds of doing it on turn 1 are increased. That being said, you're also just, like, protecting yourself because you got, 4 Force, 2 Pierce, 3 Veil. Like, from playing Storm, in my personal opinion, I don't think I think you're just supposed to be patient and play and suck cards out of your opponent's hand until they're the least advantageous, and then you just win. Like, I don't think you're ever supposed to absolutely go on turn 1 unless you have turn 1 plus protection. And I think by playing 3 Veil of Summer and 4 Force of Will in the main with the petals, you're increasing the odds of you having protection because now your turn 1 Veil of Summer is more likely.
Right.
Yeah. So like, granted, you're probably not like, if I don't have protection, I'm not doing this turn 1 anyway. Like, I'm going to slow down and just relax. Like, I can play this like a control deck. I don't have to reveal my hand. I don't have to show them that I'm doing this game 1. And then
No, you're
after game
supposed to
1,
show and tell them.
yeah, that's true. But like, I don't have to do it as fast as possible. So like, I can like just play, and I'd probably like I think the reason he's playing 4 Misties is specifically to make people think that he's on Nadu. Like the I think this is specifically to make people think that he's Naduing instead of doing this, so that he can go Misty Go. Like, it's the same reason we play 4 or multiple Scalding Tards over Bloodstained Mire and Storm, is because like, we want them to think that we're doing something else turn 1 if we're not going for it turn 1, so that we can hedge our bets, and maybe they keep a ponder differently, maybe they brainstorm differently, maybe they have a completely different turn 1 play because they think I'm on Nadu, and then I go, all right, protected turn 2 show, we cool, you know.
No,
Like,
we're not.
can we go to game
I
2
kept a
where you're gonna
lightning
bring in a
bolt,
bunch of
bro.
hate
No,
for
we're
me?
not.
But like, I don't know. The deck seems really cool. I would not try and go very, very fast, but like the 4 petals giving you the opportunity to go fast with protection, because like that gives you, like, say you have Ancient Tomb double petal and any one of these 1-drops and a Force of Will. Now I've got double protection for a show, which is crazy. Um,
But that hand doesn't leave you anything to cast off Omniscience.
why wouldn't it? That's uh Force, blue spell, one of these, 2 petal, Ancient Tomb. Oh, fucking put it in an Emrakul. Oh yeah, no, that's 6, 7. Yeah, you can fucking put it in an Emrakul. Suck me. Double
Can't
protection, turn 1 Emrakul. Pretty
force,
alright.
blue card,
Yeah.
Omniscience.
No. Force, blue card, show. Spell pierce or veil. Petal, petal, tomb. Oh, we don't have enough for that either. No, that's it. No, because that puts in Emrakul. You can put in Emrakul with protection. Force, blue
Okay.
card, show, spell pierce, petal, petal, tomb. No, I'm still short the Emrakul or the Atraxa. Fuck it. Math is for nerds, dude. Fucking you count on your own time. Can you believe I fucking do well at these events, dude? I'm dumb.
We love
Oh,
you, Ben. We love you.
it's crazy.
I'm glad that we were able to get to this. What is it called when you someone has a problem and your friends show up to tell them? This is a intervention. This is an intervention, Ben. We finally got here where you admitted that you were dumb, so we can close out the show. No, I'm kidding. No, you're a very, very smart man. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you top aided a chicken dip, bro.
big ol' hell yeah.
Didn't get first though. Fucking dumb. Yeah. So here's cart number 1. Here's cart number 2.
What's 79,000 yen in US? Oh, I know what that is in euros.
I don't know, but
That's not cheap in euros.
This is the total dollar amount for all of the cards except for the Trops.
Okay.
Reasonable.
That's not that much more.
No, reasonable. And then bum bum bum. So I mean, 4.
That Eureka
fine.
though, it's so
I
cool.
do need to slap a
E equals
Eureka in
MC. That is so hilarious. I love
Let's
that.
see if they have a. I am slapping a Eureka in here because Eureka is just a fun Magic card, and if I'm doing anything, I want to do the fun thing.
Right. Well, while Ben is totaling up his cards, just a couple quick announcements. We will have our event this weekend at the place in Wadsworth, the Great Oaks Tavern. So Great Oaks Tavern is a great place, phenomenal food, full bar. It's awesome just to sit and jam with friends in a tavern-like atmosphere. So
He said, I'm a finance.
it's manager and I can't math. So we hope that you will join us there. You will see 2 out of 3 of us, hopefully, at the Buffalo Chicken Dip. And then I believe all 3 of us at the League Points Championship at Better Plays. So
For sure.
we hope to see you there. We are doing some cool things behind the scenes just to bolster our website and offerings and guides and deck stuff and, you know, how to play certain decks. So all that stuff is coming soon. We've been having some meetings kind of behind the scenes just to up our offerings for you guys. So thank you very much. This is probably the most back and forth that we've had in a long time on the actual chat. So thank you guys all for joining us. We appreciate it. We do this for fun because this is like our one time to hang out and just talk shop. So thank you so much for joining us and making it fun. We appreciate all of you. So that wraps up the show for this week. Until next time, Ben.
Suck me. I'm just
No,
that's not the sign off.
That's not the sign off.
I didn't know.
Well, I'll do it anyways. But
what? It's not about the. It's not
miss
about
you already.
Oh yeah, miss you already. Love you very much. Till next time.
That's still not it.
What is it? What? I miss you very much. Send nudes. Oh yeah.
There it
miss
is.
you very much. Miss you already. Love you very much. Send nudes.
Okay, you're distracted by your buying cool cards.
No,
we'll see you guys
no.
later.
Adam sent a message.
Bye. Last time I saw, he ran away when things got tough.